In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Survival Archery Systems Recon Survival Bow. You may recall not too long ago on the channel, we took a look at their SAS Tactical Survival Bow. These bows are very similar. They share most of the same features, but there are a couple of significant differences. We're going to take a look at those coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for trustworthy information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So I happen to be watching the, I don't know what season it is, maybe season 6 of Alone on Netflix, and one thing I noticed that I didn't see on some of the earlier seasons that I got to watch was a lot of people had bows. So anyway, that got me to thinking, I've got this Survival Archery Systems Tactical Survival Bow that I wanted to go ahead and make a video on. And like I said, we took a look at this Recon bow a few months back on the channel, and I thought it was pretty cool. It's definitely not as slick as like a really nice bare, full recurve bow or something like that. This thing is designed to fold up and to fit into a pack. So like I said, the specs were pretty much the same. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link to it right up here in the corner. But this one is very, very similar. This, I think, is the original. And as you can see, it is just a little bit shorter. So, and there's a reason for that, and the way they accomplish that makes it a little bit different than this one. So instead of me just rambling on, let me take you down to the old stump top. We'll talk about the specs of this thing. I'll show you the differences and show you how this thing kind of gets ready to fire. And it will, I got the really, really old faded out archery target back here, and we'll do a little shooting and we'll see how well this thing shoots. And we're gonna do that right after this word from one of our sponsors. This video is sponsored by my friends at clickbelts.com, where you can save 15% by using the coupon code SOP15 at checkout. Click belts feature genuine Cobra buckles, and they are sewn right here in the USA in the great state of Texas. They've even got the really cool TSA-friendly poly Cobra buckle now. So if you're looking for a very, very strong, very cool belt, I encourage you to check out the folks at clickbelts.com. Don't forget, use the coupon code SOP15 to save 15%. Okay, we are back, and as you can see, we are not at the old stump top. We're at the new drum top. You may also notice I'm wearing a different shirt. Don't let that distract you. Technical difficulties do happen. So let's talk about the bows. So first of all, this is the bow we looked at already on the channel. This is the Survival Archery Systems Recon Folding Bow. And this is the one we're looking at today, the SAS Tactical Survival Bow. So as you can see, they look very, very similar. There are a couple of very noticeable differences. We'll talk about those in a minute. Let's talk about the similarities first. First of all, they both feature very similar construction, and then the materials used in these bows are the riser and the limb brackets are aerospace grade T6 aluminum, which is specially coated prior to anodizing, so it will reduce glare and hold paint better if you want to paint it camouflage or whatever. Then the limbs on both these bows are made in the USA, and it's the same composite used by most major bow manufacturers. The bracket pins and bolts are marine grade 316 stainless steel, also specially coated to reduce glare. And finally, the limb bracket bolts are high tensile steel. So these bolts are the only components on the entire bow that will require just a little bit of oil maintenance to keep them from rusting. There's that. They both feature a hollow riser, which allows you to store folding takedown arrows in there. They both feature these little rubber plastic plugs on the end. One thing I want to point out about these is, if you notice this, you see there's a little gap right here. I thought that was just something messed up, but actually that is on purpose. There's two reasons for that. Reason number one is because they fit pretty tightly, so if you did have one that fit all the way in, you might have a hard time getting it out if your hands were cold or whatever. And the other reason is because they are going to be an item which gets some wear. By making them a little bit oversized to begin with, it just gives you a little tolerance for wear so that they'll continue to function later on as you use these things. So that's the similarities. I guess the other similarity, they both also have a grip tape here. They also both come with an arrow rest and a little brass knock point that crimps onto the string. I lost that one on this one properly in the pine straw, so we're not going to use that on this one for the test today either. So anyway, that's the similarities. The differences, as you can see, are a couple of obvious differences are, first of all, the length. The Recon folding bow is 23.4 inches long, and the tactical bow is 21 inches long, so about 3.5 inches difference, which allows the tactical bow to fit in a lot smaller backpack than the recon bow. So the other major difference is the way these things are deployed or put into operation. You'll notice that the brackets on this one are both on the same side, the brackets on this one are on opposite sides. And the reason for that is the folding bow is designed, you just pop these end caps off, you just unfold it like so, and it's ready to string and go. The tactical bow, on the other hand, requires one additional step in order to make it ready to go. And here's what that step is. You'll notice that, first let's take these off and just show you, by the way, you do have arrows in here so at this point in time. So you notice that like we used to see when we were kids, one of these ends is not like the other. This end features an extra hole. The end with the extra hole, the bracket needs to be reversed, and that extra hole is going to be your pin bracket. And the way it's really simple to do, all you do is just unscrew the bolt out of the pin, and the pin is like a sleeve, and you can see it goes all the way through completely through this bracket. So the only purpose for this bolt is it only has to be hand tight because it doesn't have any stress on it. All it's for is just to keep that pin from being loose. So the way to change this over is you just pop that out just a little bit, pull it out, turn it over like so, and if you got it like so, make sure you don't have an arrow in the way like I do, like so it'll be on the same side as this one. Push your pin in and put your bolt back in your retaining screw. Just hand tight, all it has to be. Now this thing folds just like the other one. So the problem is, it's because it's shorter and the limbs are longer, that's why you have to reverse it like that. This, by the way, is a 55-pound bow, and the recon bow is a 45-pound bow, but I wanted to just get the heavier one just to see the difference. So there you go. Chuck Norris did, in fact, build Rome in a day. By the way, these things come with a little carry case, and it has a spot here you can slide the bow in, and then there's another little pouch up here. Come with a string and little just really basic shoulder straps. So I'll be honest with you, on this one, it looks to me like the buckle is backwards on my shoulder straps. Like they put the buckle on the bottom. They got the buckle turned around backwards, but it doesn't matter. But that's just thought I'd point that out to you. So let's put this aside. Got some instructions here. As you can see, I've not strung this one up yet. I thought sometimes I like to do this kind of stuff on camera so you can just see how doofus proof it is, because if it is able to be screwed up, I'm pretty good at screwing it up. So the bow also comes with a B50 Dacron string and a little crimp-on knock point. So before we string it up, let's talk about the specs of this bow real quickly, and I happen to have some notes here that I'm going to be reading from because I want to get them right. So first of all, the bow length on this one is 60 inches when it is strung, again 21 inches when it is unstrung. It is good for arrow speeds up to 250 feet per second for a 50-pound version, and up to 210 feet per second for a 55-pound version. Maximum draw length is 31 inches. Again, it's 45, 50, or 55 pounds at a 28-inch draw length. And then the strung bow weight is 2.2 pounds, or for those of you still stuck in that old metric system, and you know who you are, because I'm sure you will leave me some great comments about how only 3 countries in the world are still using the American way. So anyway, this is one kilogram. How about that? So they also come with a stick-on arrow rest. I use my arrow rest on the other one, so I don't have one. So we're gonna have to go old school Native American and use my finger as an arrow rest for this demo, but we're going to endeavor to persevere. I believe that line was from an old school Native American. So anyway, let me back you up here and stop the rambling and string this thing up and get to doing some of that bow stuff. Okay, here we are. We've got the string and the bow. So you string this just like you would any other bow. Just put the loop on top. And I know there's people that have told me you put it on there and you slide it up and all that, but this is how I'm going to string it. So turn it upside down, the other direction anyway. I use the step-through method. Let me back up where you can make sure you see. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold the bow in my right hand, the string in my left. I'm going to step my right leg through. I'm going to put the bottom of the bow outside my left foot here, and then use my right leg to tension the bow against it and bend it. And this is a 55-pound bow, so you got to be careful. And then make sure it's really fastened well in there, and there you go. Now, they recommend an 7 to 8 inch brace height Brace height is the distance between here and your string. So I've determined that that's about from the end of my fingertip to just right there, that one little wrinkle on my wrist. So I'm really, really short of that, right? Obviously. And if you don't have a right brace height, your arrow's not going to shoot right. Your bow's going to make a lot of noise. It's going to be all twangy. So I'll step through the other foot. Everything just the opposite. So I'm pushing on my left hand this time, as you can see. And the way you adjust your brace height is, you just twist the string. I'm just going to twist it in my hands. As you twist it, it's going to get shorter. And as it gets shorter, it's going to increase your brace height. So just twist it a bunch. I don't, you know, it's just really, I can't give you any math for it. It's just you twist it until you get it where you want it. Then you try it a few times. So I'm still really, really short. So we're going to keep twisting. Okay, we're getting closer now. I think we're probably about 6 inches, as you can see that. So give it a little bit more. And some of that's individual based upon what size kind of arrows you're going to shoot or what length your draw is, I guess. But they recommend 7 to 8 inches. So I'm going to listen to his expertise. Let's see what we got here. Watch is coming undone. So that's pretty stinking close there. We're going to call that close to 8-inch brace height. And you notice, by the way, there's a little grip pad here, which is kind of off center, and the sticker is on top. The grip pad is your grip, so really and truly your where the sticker is, at least on mine, is going to be the top of the bow. Your grip, whichever side of center the grip pad is on, is going to be the bottom. Yeah, this is a lot stronger than the 45-pound. So there's that. Now they recommend putting the knock, crimping the knock point on. Again, I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm just going to because I lost the other knock, so I'm just going to use the eyeball method, and then I'm going to use my hands to for a old school arrow rest. We're just going to see how well this thing goes. That's probably not going to feel good when the fletching's across my fingers, but we'll be okay. Okay, so about to do a little shooting bow. I thought I would go ahead and mention they also have available these 2-piece arrows, and they have removable tips. These have got field points on them. You can put broadheads or whatever on their standard arrows. These are Easton Game Getter X75s. They have a little coupling in the middle, and very nice arrows here. So let's see how well I can hit the old target with no knock point and no arrow rest. And very, very little skill. And I'm not sure if they've got these, if they've got the knock on correctly on these, because I thought the knock should be where you have your off-colored vein point out, but they don't have that. So both these veins will be close. They don't have this one set up that way. They've got them set up completely different than that, which is maybe I'm wrong, or maybe they were wrong. I don't know, but I'm just going to knock this thing up where it looks like it's at right angles to where my grip is, and we're going to call it good. And again, this is a 55-pound bow, not recommended for beginners, which I am definitely, but let's just see what happens. I did get some pointers last night from a guy who was really, really, really good with a bow, and to keep from maybe slapping my forearm, and maybe just a little bit of technique pointers. So let's see how it goes. By the way, I mentioned this last time. I did win a watermelon at the Scoutmaster shoot-off at summer camp a few years ago. So it's not my first time ever shooting a bow, but I'm by no means an expert. And I am, by the way, at about 7 yards here. About 7 yards, so not a long way. But so I'm going to aim at the top right-hand bullseye just to see. Shooting high. Probably me. Let's try again. We'll give it one more shot and then we'll wrap this up, because, I mean, really, how much fun is it for you just to watch me shoot a bow, right? So give it one more time. And by the way, look, I realize this is probably not going to be the bow you take if you're going for competition archery, but if it's something you want to throw in your pack that'll fit in even a day pack, for just in case if you needed to, you know, maybe get some small game, you might be able to do that. although this one is big enough to take down a moose, 55 pounds. I don't recommend shooting at the wood target with these arrows, but you know. Okay, we're gonna call this one balanced. Okay, we're gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna have to get some sort of a tools and to dig my arrows out of the balance orientation and rotation device there, because at 21 feet or so, the 55 pounder drove them in there. But I gotta say, I think this is pretty cool to have something that you can fold up, put in a day pack of 21 inches long, that is capable of taking down pretty much any big game in North America, and is also legal, as far as I could determine, in any state in the U.S. for taking down said big game. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so you might want to check on those rules yourself, but pretty cool there. Definitely a very useful item to have in a survival pack, a bug out bag, a get home bag, or just to play around with in the backyard. So that's the Survival Archery Systems Tactical Survival Bow. And their motto says, "He who prepares survives." So I'll put a link to this below in the video description if you're interested in checking this out yourself. Once again, thanks to the folks at SAS Survival Archery Systems for sending me these bows so I can check them out and show them to you. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a brand new video every Friday and Saturday, sometimes random videos throughout the week. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single one, I invite you to go to survivalonpurpose.com/subscribe. Sign up for the weekly email newsletter, and every week I'll send you an email. Well, almost every week. I missed last week. But anyway, every week I'll send you an email with links to previous videos, maybe an old vintage video, and some, anything else I think you might be interested in. So anyway, I really appreciate your support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared. I'll see you next time.